Hello, 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 and thank you so much for tuning in yet again to another episode of Chatting It Up with Mrs. B. I pray that blessings are pouring your way and that you are all doing wonderful. All right, y'all. So this is our New Year slash Christmas episode. I didn't get to finish talking about my Christmas week because my last episode was a very special guest and it was a very long episode, so I didn't want to add any more to it. But so now I want to talk about everything that happened the week of Christmas, the week after Christmas, and leading up to New Year, and just dive a little bit into all of those things. So, y'all, before we get any further into this episode, I have to tell you about the brand Cozy Earth. They have luxurious bamboo sheets, pajamas, and more. Make sure that you head on over to cozyearth.com. Each of my listeners receive an exclusive discount of 41% off any product. Cozy's Earth luxurious bamboo bedding and pajamas are loved by many celebrities and thousands of customers. They offer the ultimate in softness and cooling comfort. And you can enjoy my exclusive discount, Chat with Mrs. B, in order to get your 41% off today. Again, head on over to cozyearth.com. Okay, y'all. So, and I'm gonna be honest, this is my second recording of this episode, so it's not gonna be as good as the first. Oh my gosh, I'm so upset. I was talking this whole time and not one darn thing was being recorded. I don't understand what happened, but here we are for take two. So I get to do it again and change some things. You don't get it as live and as raw as it was the first time. And this is actually my second time doing this. My very first episode, or was it my first episode? Kinda, not really, because I did a practice episode, but the first real episode, same thing happened. I thought I was recording. It was a bomb episode and not one thing was recorded. So I did say I was going to start like recording a backup on my phone, but lately I haven't been really having any issues. So I don't know what happened today. It looked like it was recording and then somewhere it just dumped everything that I was doing. So yeah. Gots to love technology. So anyway, I'm going to go back over everything again because I did take notes. So your girl got it all together and I can, go through everything again. But so basically, we're going to leave off with where I was before my last episode. We're going back in time a little bit, taking you back. So, Christmas Eve, it was spent with my husband and my daughter, my youngest daughter, because my other kids were not home. They're with their dads and other family members. So the three of us, we just had a movie night. I popped us some popcorn and I also fixed us some little snacks, some of our favorite snacks to eat while we're eating popcorn. And I did post that on my social media. So if anybody follows me, Mrs. B, on TikTok or YouTube or Facebook, you would have seen, our little Christmas Eve celebration kind of thingy that we did. And Christmas Day, I really was like, I woke up that morning and let my daughter open up a few of her gifts. And then it was on to cooking because I don't ever get a break on these holidays. Your girl be cooking. I was off Christmas Day. I worked Christmas Eve up until a certain point, but I didn't want to cook. I like my food fresh. I'm not going to lie. I'll eat leftovers, but I like my food fresh. So I get up and cook that morning. So I spent most of the morning cooking up until early afternoon. And then when I finished that, then my husband was also putting together my daughter's kitchen set that she got. And then I started putting together her dollhouse. And I'm going to tell y'all, that freaking dollhouse took me 5 whole hours to assemble. It was giving me the business. It was a lot of work. It wasn't nothing easy to do, but I got it done. It is so cute. And my baby loves her gifts. Now, since my boys were not here, they were spending time with their dad for Christmas. we held some of my daughter's gifts back, the baby girl, so that she could open gifts with her brothers because baby was not going to be having not being able to open no gifts, and they the only ones opening gifts. So we made it a whole big thing. They came home Sunday after Christmas, and what we did is we got in our Christmas PJs, and I also took Christmas pictures. Those are also up on my social media. And then we got to have Christmas all over again, and it was so special. Like, I really enjoyed it. It was like the day didn't even not happen with them because it was like Christmas all over again. It was really enjoyable. I really loved it. We had a good day. I was playing Christmas music. We took our pictures. They opened their gifts, and they were very grateful for what they received. And then we did Christmas cookies, and that was so cute. I love doing stuff like that with my kids. It's really fun. So I know they enjoyed it as well. And then after that, I had my interview with my special guest, and we brought in the new year. So happy new year to everyone. I hope your new year is going off to a good start. I hope you are all sticking to the goals that you created. I hope you created goals because I had to get on to my oldest daughter. I'm like, girl, you need to have some goals going on. You need to have something that you're working towards. So I hope all of you set goals and are working towards making sure that you maintain those goals. I did set goals for myself, and let me see. I'm going to go over some of my New Year goals just to, give y'all some insight on what your girl is working on. But also, I wanted to say to set intentional goals for 2026. Make sure that you are doing things that are going to um, make your life better. Don't just ask for materialistic things, but also ask for guidance in order to obtain those things, and ask for them in the proper way, because whatever you pray for, God is going to give it to you. So you need to be careful with how you pray and being intentional. So 2026 is all about being intentional for me. So here is a list of my goals. So one of them is going to church weekly and reading my Bible daily. So I did already start the year off correctly. I've gone to church and I've been reading the Bible daily. I have the Holy Bible app, and what I did was a 365-day full Bible reading. I forgot what they call it, but they have like these I'm going to look it up. They have these plans. And so you can do all these different Bible plans kind of to give you a scripture to read, an explanation of the scripture, even some prayers, and then they go over a few verses every day. So with this plan, though, it is strictly going through the Bible from beginning to end, and it's going to last for the whole year. So that right there is going to actually keep me on point with making sure that I am reading the Bible daily. Also, they have a lot of plans on there that you can do. You don't have to do that one, but that is a good way to make sure that you're getting the Bible in. It also reads it out to you so you don't have to read it yourself, which helps me so that I don't kind of get lost in my words, because sometimes I don't I'm not paying the most attention to what I'm reading, so that definitely helps me. Another one is that I am manifesting a better job with a higher salary, and that, a place where I can grow and that I love to work at, because I had a great company I worked for before. I want to be back in a place like that is a great employer. I don't want just to make good money. I also want to be with a great employer. So be intentional and very just very detailed in what you want. Don't just ask for money. Don't just ask for a better job. You got to be intentional about what you need from that job and that money. I want to get a newer vehicle. It doesn't have to be brand new, because I know I'm reaching for the stars right now. I will take a gently used vehicle. I just need a upgrade to the vehicle that I have, because it is coming up on 300,000 miles, and baby girl out there is just going through it. She done been through there, so she need a little rest. So I'm looking for a newer vehicle. I want to move into a 5-bedroom home that's going to be safe for me and my family because right now we are not living in a place that is fitting our needs as our family continues to grow. The boys are getting big and so is baby girl. So we need a bigger place for us. And then also this year, my goal is to take a birthday trip out of the country. Even if it's solo, which I do not mind, but I need a break. I need a break from it all. I am constantly giving to everyone around me. And I barely have time to take care of myself. I used to be very intentional about getting massages, getting pedicures, getting my nails done. But with trying to save a lot of money and not just spend, I've been doing a lot of self care and it's not the same. Like, I need some me time. I need to pour into me so that I can keep giving to those around me because if I don't, then I'm just going to be on E and y'all not going to get nothing from me. And my family's just going to fall apart. They're not going to like it. Anyway, another goal is to lose 10 pounds a month. Now, I know that's pushing it, but your girl is working hard at changing her eating habits and the way that I just process my relationship with food and snacks and sugars, all of that, and also incorporating exercise. I would like that to be something that is put into my daily or weekly routine because I want to live a long, healthy life and I don't want to be stuck in a walker or wheelchair, not able to move. I want to be up and moving and like, what? You know what I'm saying? I want to be that girl. I want to be popping. Another thing is I want to stop smoking. I've already started this year off right, but I just need to make sure that I am the healthiest that I can be. And that's very easy for me. I just kind of fall back into bad habits from time to time, but that's something else that I'm going to work towards doing. And then also, as you know, making this podcast weekly. That is a goal of mine to not let that go. So far, I've been doing good, but I just want to make sure that that is an intentional goal that I am seeking to continue to do on a continual basis. Along with basically, bettering my credits and eventually becoming debt free. I know that's not going to happen, immediately with being debt free. So it's kind of like that's a goal that's going to be not accomplished this year because I do want to be a homeowner. And unless I win the lottery, I'm going to have debt to be a homeowner. And then getting another vehicle that's going to put me in a little debt. But other than that, that's the only debt I want. I don't want any more credit card debt, any more loan debt. I want to be debt free besides my home and my vehicle. So those are my goals. In the new year is the time to remove a lot of things out of your life. And it's so funny that I had took these notes before, but that's basically what the sermon was about today. It was like removing things from your life that are no longer going to be beneficial to you. And so that includes people. I know that's going to hurt some of y'all feelings and so, oh my gosh, we got to remove people. Yes, you have to remove people. Not everybody is good for you. Okay. Some people need to stay in 2025 and you need to leave them right there. It doesn't mean you don't love them. It doesn't mean that they don't matter to you. What it means is that you are choosing your peace and your progression over being attached to someone who is not necessarily on the same path as you. Like, there are people who are toxic to your well-being. They are probably doing things that or keeping you in the same space that you don't want to be in. If you're trying to grow and you're trying to improve yourself, then you can't hang around people that are doing the things that you're trying to stop doing. And that includes procrastination. If you hang around people that like to procrastinate, you're not going to never stop procrastinating. If you want to stop hanging around people who smoke, or if you want to stop smoking, you can't hang around smokers. If you want to stop drinking, you can't hang around drinkers. If you want to be a business owner, you need to hang around other business owners and stop messing around with people who telling you that you can't do it. Because there are people who are not willing to accept help or advice, and they're always going to fall short. But there's also people who are willing to accept the help of others and to put themselves in situations where they can be better. And you got to know the difference between the two. Me and my uncle was just, having a long debate about this because he believes that the plight of the Black man is just due to society alone, and that because of society, oh my God, they just can't get it together. They're never going to be able to. And I totally 100% disagree. I believe that your environment and your will and want to succeed plays a big part into that. There are many people who came from detrimental environments who didn't have people encouraging them that were able to succeed. And then you have people who come from environments that may not be the best, but they still have people encouraging them and they still can succeed. It's really all in the person and what you want out of life. If you don't want anything out of life, then that's what you're going to get. Nothing. You're going to get absolutely nothing out of life. So you have to be intentional, and you have to, really understand that if you want your life to change, it is up to you 100%. No excuses. If you are not where you want to be, then you are not doing your best doing the same thing that you're doing every day. I cannot stand to hear someone saying they're doing their best when there's other things you can do and you're just not doing them. That is not your best. You're actually giving your least, and you just keep trying the same thing, hoping for a different outcome. That's not how life works. If you're not going to be willing to pivot and make some changes, then you're going to keep dealing with the same outcomes. And that's kind of like what I was debating with my uncle, is that it doesn't matter where you start from. It matters where you're trying to go. And if you're not trying to go nowhere, then you're going to stay right where you at. But if you're trying to go somewhere else, if you get in a car and you start driving, you're going to go somewhere. But if you sit in the car and you just say, oh, I wish I could do this, I wish I could do that, but I can't. I'm just going to sit right here and wish and hope. Then ain't nothing going to be in your hand but wishes and hope, okay? So you got to keep that in mind. Also, in church, the Pastor Darius Daniels, I go to Change Church in Gwinnett. He was talking about today about being intentional about what you ask God for, because I know myself, and I'm not going to, go into too much detail, but I asked God for something and he gave me exactly what I asked for. And I'm like, Lord, like if I knew that you was going to give me exactly what I asked for, I would have asked for everything on my list. But instead, I asked for this one thing that was really incomplete of the whole thing that I needed. I asked him for one part of what I needed and not the full thing. So be intentional with what you ask God for when you come to him. Like I want a new home. Be intentional. I want a 5-bedroom home, 3 levels with a full basement that my in-laws can come and live in, or my parents can come live in when they are no longer able to take care of themselves. I want a big backyard that's able to be fenced in. I want to live in a cul-de-sac. Like those things are intentional. They're intentional of what you really, really want. Don't just ask for a house, because God will bless you with the house and then it won't be everything that you want and need. And then you'll be in that house and you'll be like, Lord, I know I asked you for this, but this ain't what I want. And now you seem ungrateful. When in reality, you weren't intentional about every little thing that you needed. So make sure that when you ask for something, when you pray for your job, when you pray for your home, your children, or a spouse, that you outline every single thing that you needed. Because God will bless you with what you ask for, but he needs to know exactly what you want. And not that he doesn't know, but he needs you to make it verbal. You can't just assume that he's just going to say, oh, okay, well, she asked for this, but she really wants this. Like, no, ask exactly what you want. Be intentional with your prayers and God will bless you abundantly. And also, being stuck. I want to talk about people being stuck. Like after a certain amount of time of you being in the same place and there's no growth and there's no movement, you have to really sit still and take a look at yourself and just really understand what's going on inside of you. Yes, some people are happy with where they are and they don't want to go any further. They're like, I'm here. I'm good. I don't need anything else. But then there are people who are like, I know I'm here, but I want more, but you're not willing to do what it takes to get there. Like you got to be willing to step out on faith. You cannot keep sitting around doing the same thing day after day, hoping for a different result. There are literally 24 hours in a day. We work 8 hours of the day. That leaves you 16 more hours to follow your dreams. You have 16 hours, and I know you got to sleep, but you can sleep 6 of those hours and still have 10 hours left to pursue your dreams. And how do I know this? Because I've been there. I literally have gone to school while working full time twice. I went to college after I graduated high school, did not finish. I was going for psychology. Then I went to cosmetology school. I worked a full time job from 6 a.m. to 3. When I got off work, I went to school from 5 to 9, 10 ish, and I obtained my master cosmetologist degree. Yes, it was hard. No, it was not fun, but I was working towards a goal. So if all you can do is go to work every day and come home, you're not doing your best. You're not giving your all. You're only doing partially what you can do. And you're not going to progress from that. Nothing's going to change if only thing you're doing is going to work and coming home every day. It's not going to be some magic dust that sprays around you and it's like, oh, a hard worker is here. I'm going to bless you with everything you want. No, you got to get out there and work for every single thing that you want and everything that you desire. And if you're not willing to put in the hard work, then you're going to stay where you are year after year. If you wake up 10 years from now and you still where you was 10 years ago, shame on you, because you could have been doing more. You could have had more. You could have accomplished so many things. It literally takes 4 years to get a college degree and 2 years to get an associate's degree. Do you know how many associate degrees you could have got in 10 years? 5. Do you know how many college degrees, bachelor degrees, that you could have gotten in 10 years? You could have got 2 different bachelor degrees in 10 years. 2 different ones, if that's really what you desire, but you don't desire it. You just want to make excuses. So, this is just going back to my conversation with my uncle. There's so many excuses being made on why somebody can't be successful. Life and society is not holding you back. You are holding you back. If you want more, if you want to do better in life, then you have to make the conscious decision to put yourself in an uncomfortable situation in order to achieve that. And then back on to, I got my cosmetology degree. And then I started in 2017 working on my bachelor's degree. I still have not completed it because, again, I'm preaching to myself. I have let life stop me. There's nobody else's fault. Ain't nobody holding me back. It's me holding me back. It's me against me. I was working full time, and then with my kids, doing sports and activities, I did not prioritize getting my education completed. So I started and stopped, started and stopped. Then here comes, with my career, I decided to, go and get licensed as a mortgage loan officer. And that took a lot of time away from me even studying, but I decided to pursue that, and I accomplished that. I got my license as a mortgage loan officer. And then that company closed down, and then I started back up with my bachelor's degree. And, then I let life stop me again. So I'm still working on it, and I'm not going to give up on my bachelor's degree. That's something that is very important to me, and I could have been done a long time ago. But one thing that you got to do is you got to buckle down when you have dreams that you're trying to accomplish. You cannot let anything get in your way. I also did get my property and casualty insurance license. So that's another thing that I've done. So I haven't been just sitting around idly twiddling my thumbs. Even though I haven't accomplished all of my goals, I am still accomplishing something. Like I said, if 10 years goes by and you're still in the exact same space, you have no accomplishments under your belt, you got to look at you. You got to look at you and look within yourself and say, what am I doing wrong? Why am I not getting better? Why am I not doing more? This year, one of the things that I'm going to do to help me get to where I want and to accomplish the goals that I'm going to get is I'm going to get me a second job. I usually work a part-time job here and there to help out, but that's something that I need to get back to. If you're working one job and you're not able to make ends meet, then why are you only working one job? That you just have to answer that question. Why are you only working one job? Only a lazy person who is not able to fully take care of themselves will work one job and be okay with it. You gotta go out here and get another option. So your girl is gonna be juggling a family, a full-time job, a part-time job, and a podcast, and being a social media content creator. And I'm going to get every single thing done because that's the boss that I am. I'm not a quitter and I'm not a settler. So I am going to get all of that done. And you're going to see in 2026 that I'm going to make every single one of my goals on my to-do list come true. Another thing the pastor said that was a very, very chef's kiss. I was like, whew. We are born looking like our parents, but we die looking like our decisions. So what does that mean? That means that you are going to look like what you allow yourself to go through in life. Now, yes, there are some things that we have no control over, but there are many things that we do have control over that we are choosing to go through. And you're going to look like that. When you look like hell, it's because you're making hell on your life. You got to be better. You got to do better, and you got to make better choices for yourself, or else you're going to look like what you've been through. There's a lot of people that I grew up with that I see them on social media, and I'm like, dang, you like younger than me, or we the same age, and why you looking like somebody's great granduncle or something? Like, Lord, like life has not been kind to you, but it's also how you take care of yourself and the decisions you're making. Some people choose to have a hard not life. And, that's a choice, but, you don't have to choose a hard life. I know this one person I was talking to, they were like, I don't care where I live. I just want a place to lay my head. And to me, that's kind of a lowly mentality. I mean, and it's not knocking anybody, but you're okay with wherever you are, no matter what, as long as you have a home. It's saying that you don't desire to work hard for better and that you'll accept whatever life gives to you. And then, to each his own. That's all I'm going to say. I'm not better than anybody, but I want the best for me and mine. I don't want to settle for a bad area, a bad home, a bad marriage, bad friendships, bad family members, bad family relationships. I mean, like, I don't want to settle for nothing bad. I want everything good. I want everything great. And I want all positivity pouring in for me and mine. So, that's just what I'm on. You do what works for you, boo. But oh yeah. And another question that was brought up to me is like, where do you perform versus being real? Like, where in your life are you like performing and not being the real person, the real authentic person that you truly are? Where are you where are you being like this different person? I know at work we have to perform, but what other parts of your life are you really performing and not being real? Like, I cannot imagine, like, in my real life, performing how I have to perform on a job. Like, that is like totally sickening to me to think that I cannot be my real self around people. But there are people who literally perform around others. And I'm gonna tell you, the only place I'm performing is at work because I got to get that check and I need to get that paper. So I'm gonna be, yes, how are you? And all of that. And I'm nice, I'm nice in real life, but I'm performative at work. But there are people who are literally performative everywhere. You'll never get the real them, and that's really sad. And you know, that's something to look over. Like, where are you performing versus being real? That's a thought that you can, ponder on. And another thing that I was really shocked with learning with the people around me is that everybody I know have never listened to podcasts. Like, only person I can think of that has listened to podcasts is probably my best friend, Charity. I know she listens to podcasts here and there. She likes to listen to ebooks, though, so it's still kind of like along the same thing. But a lot of people are like, they can't listen to things only. They have to have a visual. And I find that very strange because, before social media, we all grew up listening to the radio. So it's not like these people are, a lot of young folks, because I understand younger people, but there's a lot of older people who just don't listen to podcasts. And I'm like very, very shocked. Podcasts have been around for a long time. They are growing. And I just can't believe that, people are only tapping into podcasts right now because of me. So I am opening up a new world to those around me, but I am still nonetheless very, very shocked that people don't really listen to podcasts like that. Like, I did not know that was really a thing. Like, wow, okay. Another question that we want to ponder on is basically what partnership means to you. So, partnership means different things to different people. But it's basically two people who function as a team, sharing goals, responsibilities, and power with mutual respect, communication, and support rather than one person being dominant. And for our marriage to work, I think it definitely takes partnership. You have to have shared common goals. That's another thing that me and my uncle were talking about on my last episode, because he was saying that, especially black couples have the biggest struggle with being in a relationship. And I think it's probably because we don't date intentionally. Like I said, we look for one thing that our partner has that we like, and that's the only thing that matters to us. And then everything else just goes out the window, and we don't really make sure that we are equally yoked. And by equally yoked, what I mean is that we share the same goals. We are going to share responsibilities and have a mutual respect for each other in order to make this work. If you are not doing that, if you're not working together and facing life's journeys as a unified front and complementing each other's strengths and being that backup when the other person needs it, like, you don't really have a partnership. And a partnership, you cannot be unaligned. You cannot say, oh, we're a partnership, but I want this and they want that. And we don't agree on this, but we're just still making it work. No, a partnership means you are both working together for these same goals. You cannot have one, like he was saying, providing a peanut butter jelly sandwich to someone who wants steak. That's not a partnership. That's you two being unaligned. You need to date a woman who's okay with eating peanut butter and jelly sandwiches. They just want to be in your presence, versus a woman who wants you to go out there and be a hustler and provide her a more high quality life. So, take that into some account of what partnership really means in a relationship, because it does not mean y'all have to y'all got to struggle at this. It means that you need to both be intentional about what you want, and that's with business, friendships, that's with a lot of different areas. And I think we are missing the mark on, kind of what we want, and we're settling just to not be alone. And one thing I'm not going to do is I'm not going to settle for nothing. I'm the type of person that I want what I want, and I either get what I want or we're going to have a problem. It's going to be a problem if I'm not getting what I want. And we need to be equal in what we're working towards. And that's in friendships, that's in relationships, family relationships, like all of that. We need to be aligned in some kind of way. We have to be, and if you're wanting to start a business with someone, one person can't be okay with reaching a certain level and the other person wants the skies to be the limit. Like, that's not going to work. You're going to always have issues. So that's another area in life to be intentional on, is your partnerships. Like, I mean, hindsight is 2020. And my uncle was saying, you always learn from every situation that you've been in. But these last few years of my life, I've learned so much about myself and what I really need and want. And I learned that I'm not able to really communicate that clearly. I haven't been intentional about the decisions that I'm making in life. I'm just making them and just throwing stuff against the wall. And I'm like, if it work, it work. If it don't, it don't. So y'all will see some changes from me in 2026, I promise. And it might be some shocking changes, but things are changing. I am not going to carry 2026 on the same way that the rest of my life has been carrying on. Like, we gotta change things around, and things have to improve, and things have to be better. They just have to. I'm not accepting anything other than the best and absolutely what I want. I'm no longer making excuses. I don't care what anybody else thinks about me. I don't care what anybody else's opinion is on what happens in my life. I have to do what is going to work for me. I'm about to be 40 years old this year, and there's still things that I have not accomplished. And if there are not people in my life who are in line with me or aligning with me to help me accomplish my goals, then you're in the way. It just is what it is. You're in the way. So, enough about that. I do want to, touch on some, other things as far as sports and things. I do want to give a shout out to my high school that I grew up going to in Gainesville, Georgia. And yes, the big Gainesville, Georgia. We're not talking about no Gainesville, Florida around here, because we do not acknowledge Gainesville, Florida at all. Sorry to you all from there. But yeah, so like, I want to shout out to the Gainesville High School state, or I'm sorry, the Gainesville High School football team. They did make it to the state championship. They did lose to Thomas County Central High School, 62-61. But still, I just want to say congratulations to all those players, to the coaches, and the parents on making it this far. I know there was a lot of things going on, and I did not speak on them because I don't want to speak misinformed on what's going on, because I did see it all over my social media from my hometown. Everybody talking about players being suspended for a game and all those things going on. But I still want to say congratulations to everyone on working hard to make sure that those kids showed up for every game, every practice, and that they were well fed and well provided for, and also just encouraging them to want to do something better in their life. Um, my voice is so dry. I'm doing all this talking. Also, I want to shout out to the Falcons because they beat the Saints 19-17. Whoop, whoop, whoop. Let's go, Falcons, because the Saints is one of our biggest rivals. We got a lot of New Orleans people here in Georgia. And I just want y'all to sit down and shut up somewhere because we beat y'all tail this time. And the Falcons have been struggling this year, but I am so happy. They won their last two games, and most importantly, they beat the Saints. So I don't even care. It was a 2-point win. We still won. Also, want to shout out to the Georgia Bulldogs. They played Ole Miss at the Sugar Bowl, and they did come up short. They were dominating this whole season, but they did lose the game. The final score was 39-34. Shout out to the Bulldogs. I'm so proud of y'all because who cares if this was a loss? I'm really happy. Y'all beat Tennessee. Y'all beat Alabama. Roll all over them Tides. And y'all beat the Gators. So, you know what? Kudos either way. And y'all made it further than all of them. So, hold your heads up high. Anyway, now we're going to go on to celebrities. This messiness that's going on. So first, I'm going to talk about, your girl Nicki Minaj. I've always been a Nicki fan since she first came out. I'm not going to even try to pretend like I've not been a fan of Nicki Minaj, but recently she's been going through some things. She's, has some financial issues. Allegedly she's had financial issues, and they're saying that she's spazzing out online because she has mental issues as well, which I don't really know about that, so I'm not going to speak on whether or not she has any mental issues. But she made an appearance at a gathering with, nonetheless, what's her name, Erica Kirk, which is Charlie Kirk's wife, the guy who was murdered at the college. It's his wife, because now I guess she's out here speaking, and they've been dragging Erica. I'm gonna tell you that they've been dragging her. They've been saying she's doing all kind of stuff on social media other than grieving her late husband. And at first I thought it was real, because I was like, she's doing all of this, but come to find out, they just trolling her. They trolling her hard. But anyway, I'm not here to talk about her. Let's talk about Nicki. Now, I did listen to some of this interview. I got busy, so I didn't finish it. But to me, it sounds like Nicki is doing what every other rich celebrity has been doing lately, and that is kissing up to the ring of President Trump. That's just what it sounds like to me. It sounds like that she's smooching up and trying to be all close to him, because if she is having financial issues, that makes sense. They need to save as much as they can. They don't want to pay all these taxes, and Trump can definitely help her with figuring out how to not pay taxes, because he know all the tricks and trades of being on the legal side of things. So, I'm sure he can help her. But it wasn't too long ago that she was not feeling Trump, but now all of a sudden, they all buddy. So it's either for her financial reasons, maybe she needs some protection because she messing with Jay-Z, because she coming at him hard, and maybe she needs some backing or somebody to help her out a little bit. And then, her husband does have a record and maybe she's trying to get that expunged. These are the reasons that I'm thinking that she would be cozying up to this side, because there is nothing that he is doing right now that is really helping us. He really like making a big mess and claiming to fix it. Things have not been better since he's been in office, like he promised. It's only gotten harder for us. You know, he really hurt a lot of people last year financially. So, I'm not really sure what her angle is, but I hope that it works out best for her. Good luck to you and yours. Just realize, though, that the fans that you piss off are the ones that's going to be buying your music. So, we're going to see how this go. I don't know if she's still releasing this album in March, but maybe she might not need to release this album in March. I'm just saying, I don't know how it's going to do. I know she spazzed the F out when Cardi got a #1 album. Even though Cardi didn't beat her sales, she still spazzed out. And I just thought that was kind of a little distasteful, because she should have just bowed gracefully and, not even made a big stink about it. But, that's the Sagittarius in them. Anyway, so on to more news regarding Cardi B, honey. Cardi B out here just being her normal ghetto self. I don't know why y'all expect more from Cardi B than what she gives to y'all. Like, she gives ghetto hood rat to me. That's just how I see her. Now, is something wrong with being a ghetto hood rat? No, but don't expect more from a ghetto hood rat. That's like Sukiyana. You expect ghetto hood rat stuff from her. Like, I just saw she was on some show talking about free bleeding, and I'm just like, Suki, like, every time she open her mouth, it's just something just ratchet. But anyway, so Cardi's latest debacle with Stefan Diggs and her going from a wife to a baby mama, really, she became a wife by default. It just happened that way. It wasn't like she was like, she became like a different person because she became a wife. She was still the same ghetto wretchedness that she was. She just happened to be married. So now she has this baby with Stefan Diggs, and everybody's just dragging her, acting like she's supposed to be better than what she is. She is who she is. Like I said, some people are who they are. You need to leave them where they at. But honey, Stefan Diggs done posted online for Christmas with 3 of his babies. Or no, he got 3 babies. He has, like, I don't know how many kids he got. Like, I'm trying to look online. I'm not sure exactly how many kids, but I know he has 3 babies. One of those babies is with Cardi B. So he has 2 of his younger babies was with him, and I think all of his kids might have been with him for Christmas, but only Cardi and her newborn were not there. And I would guess that that's because she has other children that she does not want to drag into this strange situation, because when she come over there with her kids and they like, Mama, who is all these people? Oh, this is your little brother's siblings. They're not your siblings. They're his siblings. Like, that's a whole conversation to have, and I don't think she ready to have that conversation with them babies, because they already probably confused that why this baby ain't they daddy baby. You got 3 by my daddy, and now you got this new baby, and that's not my daddy baby? How is that not my daddy baby? Like, them kids probably sending her through there, asking all these questions. But it was just funny that, he celebrated Christmas with all of his kids, and Cardi, was kind of on the sideline, and everybody is, going crazy about it. And Cardi B had to let people know, like, y'all leave her alone. Like, she know that what situation she in. She don't need y'all to remind her. She don't need y'all to keep talking about it. She knows she is in ghetto ratchetness, because that's what she like. She don't need y'all to talk about it, though. Leave this lady alone. Y'all knew she was ghetto and ratchet from Love and Hip Hop. Y'all thought some money and some clothes was gonna change it? No. Anyway, the on to Stefan Diggs some more, because this man is a little violent. Apparently, he likes to put his hands on women, because he is facing allegedly. He's not allegedly facing, because he was charged with felony strangulation and suffocation, misdemeanor assault and battery, and probably a whole lot of other stuff, because of his chef claimed that he assaulted her. So, after all this Christmas mess, now you are going out here and assaulting a chef. So now he has to deal with that. So, good luck to all of y'all. And the saga continues. I guess we're going to keep on hearing more and more about this mess. I really don't want to, but We gonna hear every little thing that's going on with Cardi and Stefan, and I honestly wish them the ghetto best, because that's what they're gonna have. They're gonna have the ghetto bestness. It's just gonna be that ghetto mess. So yeah. Anyway, on to a little more devastation, because I don't know what President Trump is doing, but the U.S. has apparently captured the Venezuelan president Nicolas Maduro, and he is being held in Brooklyn facing charges of drugs and weapons. And President Trump said that we gonna run their country until the judicious transition happens. Like, how's we gonna run their country? You barely running this country. Like, slow down. Like, this man is always getting us into some mess that we ain't even asked to be in. But the main thing about this that I just found real crazy is that he also plans to seize Venezuela's massive oil reserve. So I just got a question. Is this really about drugs and weapons, or is we just over there stealing oil from people? Because I also heard that word on the street was that they were stealing oil from Nigeria too. And then all these fishermen in the sea was getting blown up, and they ain't even had no drugs. They just use it as an excuse to be able to steal oil from them. Like, I don't know. I, I don't know what's going on. I just pray for America, because I don't know what's going to happen to us with this man being our president. Like, y'all voted for this. That's all I can say. Y'all voted for us to be in this mess, and now we in this mess, and I don't know how we're going to get out of it. We just going to have to keep praying. I've been slacking on my news stories, though. I'm going to tell you that, because usually I rely on the Breakfast Club to keep me heavily informed. And I miss the Breakfast Club. Come on back, y'all, because I don't know what's going on in these streets. But one of the other good things that is going on right now is I did want to shed light on the Buddhist monks who are taking part in a 120-day walk for peace across the United States from Texas to Washington, D.C. They are going 2,300 miles, traveling through 10 states in order to, bring peace to the U.S. And I think that is awesome. Anybody that is doing a peaceful protest, I'm here for it. I love it. I know they've had a little mishaps here and there along the way. Things have happened. But I pray that they have a safe journey and that they actually, are able to make some change in this world. Do I think anything will change? With our president, probably not. But I do appreciate that they are using the power of prayer and peace in order to make some changes. So I do appreciate that. That is awesome. This year is upon us, and there are so many changes that are going on. So I just pray that, you all can make it the best that you can. Keep God first, keep him centered in your life, and make sure that you just pray through every single thing that is going on, because we out here struggling in these streets to just keep our head above water. And the new year is here. Make sure you are setting your goals, because if you're out here being a baddie without any goals, then you're just out here being a confused baddie. So make sure you got some goals. Write them goals down and work hard towards them. You can do it. Just, keep trying. Never give up. You're never, too far gone to make a change in your life. The only person that's stopping you is you. Remember that. Nobody else ain't stopping you. You stopping you. So stop stopping your progress and make some stuff happen. Now, I am going to close up. And if this don't record this time, guess what? Y'all just gonna get a 2-second episode. No, I'm just playing. If I have to record this one more time, I'm gonna do it. But I'm not gonna do it today, though, because this all y'all getting out of me today. My throat is dry, and I'm tired, and I'm ready to lay it down. These kids is getting back to school tomorrow. Mommy is tired. I'm happy that they're getting back to school, though. These kids have mommy me to death these last 2 weeks. Ayla, my baby girl, she been at home mommying me nonstop, because she's on the school system. She goes to early pre-K, so she's with the school system. She been out. And then my boys been home this week, and they been mommying me to death. I'm mommied out. I'm looking forward to being at home by myself. I work from home, so I'm looking forward to, being able to be home and just relaxing a little bit of my day. Not all of my day, but I'll get to relax some of it without kids. But anyway, I do want to say thank you so much for continuing to tune in to Chatting It Up with Mrs. B. I appreciate each and every one of you. I hope you all have a blessed and wonderful week this week. I also pray that your new year is off to a great start. And remember, set some goals, okay? All right. And until next time, bye.